The final stage of our affordability assessment to give you an indication as to how much you can borrow and what's going to be affordable to you on a monthly basis is to look at your documentation. Once we've had a strategy call, looked at your data, assessed your documentation, we can then start to match your circumstances to the mortgage lender's criteria, which is the next vital step of our active methodology. So in terms of the documentation, what we would like you to have prepared in as early as possible in the process are your company accounts. If you're a limited company business owner, we need at least the last 2 years, and that's full audited, finalized accounts. We would also like you to have your SA302s, which is also called your tax calculation, along with your tax year overview for the last 2 years at least. Now, in previous videos, I have said that you could get a mortgage if you've only been self-employed for 1 year. So if you fit into the 1 year category, then we just need to have that 1 year's trading. But in having your accounts and your SA302s, that's going to give us your salary, it's going to give us your dividends, it's going to also give us your net profit after tax before dividends, which could be considered. If you're a sole trader, then you just need your SA302 tax calculations and your tax year overviews. If you do have company accounts, great. The reason why, if you're a limited company business owner or a sole trader, why it's good to have accounts and SA302s is because lenders have different ways of assessing your affordability, and some will use only the SA302s. Others will only use the company accounts, and other lenders will use whatever is the most recent produced, i.e. if your accounting year is October and your tax year SA302s is generally done in April, they will go by the SA302s, for example. And if you're a contractor, then we need to see at least 2 years worth of contracts. If there's any breaks in your contracting history, then we need to know what you were doing and why you were doing it. Generally, lenders like you to be contracting for at least 6 to 12 months, again, depending on the lender, and that's why there's so many variances in the criteria. The more information we have and the more documentation we have, the better assessment we can do and the more suitable mortgage we're going to find you. If you're employed, many of my clients, husbands, wives, partners, are employed. Yes, I specialize and I look after self-employed people specifically, but the partners of those individuals aren't necessarily self-employed. So ideally we want at least 3 months payslips, and if you're in receipt of bonuses, commissions, overtimes, I like to see at least 2 years worth of P60s. Now, it could be possible for you, and I'm doing a mortgage at the moment for a gentleman who has just started his job at the beginning of the month. So he's only going to have 1 month payslip and 1 month bank statement. All we need to know is we need to know that, and you just need to supply that. But that's why we have the strategy call at the very beginning, because we give you an indication of the documentation that you're going to need to have and what you're going to need to get prepared. Lenders are going to be assessing your affordability. So they look at and they scrutinize your last 3 months worth of bank statements. So for example, get out of your overdraft if you're living in your overdraft, because lenders are looking to make sure that you can maintain your standard of living currently and that you're going to be able to afford the mortgage payment in the future. For example, if you have payments of more than £300 to £500 and that's going potentially regularly or one-offs out of your bank account, lenders are going to ask questions about that, and they're going to want to know who and why it was in place. Just to give you an indication of the things they look at. They go through them with a fine-tooth comb. The deposit that you have, I've done that within a separate video, spoken about all the deposit that you're going to need. My personal preference is 10%, so make sure you give that video a watch. But at the point where you apply for the mortgage, mortgage lenders want to see that that is available. A lot of my business owners will transfer that money from their business. So my PA will often request a letter from the accountant to say that the business can afford it. We'll also potentially need a bank statement to show that the money is available within the business bank account. You know, if you're getting a gifted deposit from a mother, father, brother, sister, and family member, then they would potentially have to supply a gifted deposit letter. We have a template for that, so it's nothing that you need to worry about. But please be honest with the source of deposit from day one and try not to change it throughout that process. And finally, the last piece that we want for every single person that we work with is your credit report. Personally, I prefer Experian and Equifax, but you can download it free from nodal.co.uk. That's going to declare everything in relation to the debts that you have outstanding currently. It's going to tell us if you're on the electoral roll, which I talk about in the last video. And also it's going to give us an indication of your credit score and whether you've had any defaults, CCJs, missed payments, and it could tell us, well, it does tell us when the best time to apply for your mortgage is. So make sure that you have the documentation ready. It saves you a lot of aggravation. It also enables us in getting you prepared, which is my ethos. Start thinking 6, 12, 24 months in advance, setting goals within your business to buy your dream home, release the money that you need to put down as deposit, use it for investment, whatever it might well be. I deal with all of it. But in setting yourself up and having the right documentation early, we can tell you what needs to be improved or changed to set you up for success later down the line. If you're ready to go now, then just get in contact as well. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you on the next video where I'll talk about all the criteria that mortgage lenders have. But if you want to go and get yourself prepared, you can download or buy a copy of my book on Amazon, the Self-Employed Mortgage Guide, and it literally has all this written down for you. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.